This is the Ohio Farm Bureau podcast. Thanks for watching and listening. I'm Ty Higgins. If you haven't been to the mailbox yet to get your latest electricity bill, you might just want to prepare yourself for a bit of sticker shock, as rates for many Ohioans will be significantly higher when their June bills come due. If you're a member of Ohio Farm Bureau, there's a free way to find out if a better rate is available to you. Since 2008, the Ohio Farm Bureau Energy Savings Program has been helping members through energy education as well as financial savings on electricity and natural gas. Joining us on this week's podcast, Dale Arnold, Director of Energy Policy with Ohio Farm Bureau, and Kathy Elsesser. She is the Energy Procurement Manager for Community Energy Advisors and a partner of Ohio Farm Bureau's energy program. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Hey, Dale, I want to set the groundwork here about community aggregation. You were a part of that process many years ago, kind of saw it come to fruition there at your post at Farm Bureau.
Yeah, it was. We had what was called conjunctive electric service for 15,000 Farm Bureau members. It was a precursor to customer choice programming that you're seeing now. And when that came, we worked very closely with a number of government organizations and the OCC and the Public Utilities Commission to create the system that you're seeing now. And people were saying, well, isn't that going to eliminate your program? And I said, well, I hope so, because our focus is not necessarily to make money as an organization, but to help our members control their energy costs. And that's why we did it.
Kathy, tell us about Community Energy Advisors. I know that there are really three pillars to what you do: education, protection, and savings. Talk about your organization.
Absolutely. So we are a local company located in Medina, Ohio, and we specialize in affinity partners. We're not selling, we're helping to educate, letting people know what they're paying, what their options are, that protection, because we help manage as they go, making sure that they don't get swept up into bad situations. And then that savings piece is so important, especially with what you're talking about with those rates skyrocketing this month, actually, that we can help save members thousands of dollars on both their natural gas and their electricity.
I have to imagine your phone is ringing off the hook, but the process is easy. We'll talk about how our members can go about seeing if better rates are out there for them here in just a bit. Dale, why are we seeing this drastic uptick in energy costs?
Well, it's interesting. I tell you, part of it basically has to do with upgrades. For every dollar you're seeing in energy prices, you are going to witness and see $4 in infrastructure upgrades. And we've seen this for transmission lines with interstate systems, big upgrades in local distribution networks. Those things basically have to be paid. Those are part of utility tariffs and bills. And also, and I think farmers really appreciate this, electricity is a commodity just like corn, wheat, beans. Calls, puts, collars, futures contracts, delivery points, pricing, dictated by supply and demand over time. It is basically a commodity, and consequently, being able to use programs such as CEA provides with regard to that does give you a hedge and gives you ability to control those energy costs.
Talk to a lot of neighbors and a lot of family members who are seeing this increase, and some of them up to 20 to 25%. Is that pretty normal to what we're going to be seeing across Ohio?
Well, I tell you, it all depends basically on your incumbent utility. I've been talking to a lot of our members over the last couple of weeks, especially in the last couple of days since we've started this, and they're looking at anywhere between, I tell you, $55, $60, $65 per meter per month is what they're seeing projected with investor-owned utilities across the state.
So, Kathy, they're getting those bills in the mail, and some of them may not realize this is going to be an increase until they get those bills, and they are going to be wondering what's going on. What are some of the things that consumers should be questioning when it comes to whether they can get a lower rate on future utility bills?
Yeah, well, I think the most important thing is to remember to work with somebody that you trust. There's a lot of companies out there that they do cold calling, and they try to make you feel that they're going to save you, and they might put you in a bad spot. So working with the Farm Bureau and working with this true member benefit, we are absolutely here to protect them. So the easiest way is for them to send us their bills. We'll review it. If they're in a good spot, I know there's still a lot of great government aggregation programs out there that were put into place previously when the rates weren't so high. If they're in a good spot, that's the first thing that we're going to tell them. Peace of mind. We're never going to move a member to harm them. But we will let them know what they're paying and when that's going to expire. If they're in a contract and they don't know when that contract ends, we can help obtain that information for them. Some of the worst spots we've seen members in is if they're in an expired contract, they could be paying triple the amount of what they should be paying. We've seen 22 cents per kilowatt hour. When that contract expires, there's no limit on what the supplier can charge. And because of the volatility in the market, we are seeing outrageous prices. So when I say 22 cents, the standard utility rate that we talked about, if they haven't shopped, is going to between 11 cents and 12 cents. And we are seeing prices between 6.5 to 7.5 cents. Depends on if they're commercial or residential, and it depends on the term that they choose. So they send in their bill, we let them know what they're paying, let them know how to find out so that they can look at their own bill and keep track of that. Obtain contract information if need be, either tell them that they're in a good spot, or we give them different terms and options. We've got short term, 6 months, really 3 months. We have some farmers that have grain dryers and they're only turning that meter on for a few months. And so we want to make sure that they're protected for those couple months, but not penalized when that meter turns off. So let's say 3 months all the way up to 60 months, depending on what they're looking for. We let them choose, we go through the options. And then when they say, yes, I'd like to go with the 36 month, we can send a DocuSign. We process everything for them. The switch happens automatically. So once they sign, there's nothing else that they have to do. The bill will still come the same way. It'll still look the same, be paid the same. It'll just now show their new supplier with their supply rate. And part of that managing, we follow that member. We'll reach out to them in a couple months to make sure that everything's flowing properly, that it's the correct supplier with the correct rate. We'll reach out to them before the renewal to make sure that they don't fall into that high variable rate if their contract expires. And we're also here all the time to answer questions for them. If they get a call or if they do get swept up into something else, we work directly with the supplier to get them back where they need to be. So we truly are a free resource, even for folks who aren't enrolled into the program. We're here to answer any questions anytime.
That's a very nice benefit we have here, because I'm going to tell you why. We get calls here. I get calls. People are talking, I went to the PUCO Apples to Apples website and I'm seeing all these prices and all these offers. Now, the PUCO does a very good job notifying people with regard to that, but that's about as far as that goes. It's how do I pick a supplier? How do I pick a contract? How do I know basically this deal is good? What's the difference between variable and flat rate and those things? And I tell people this. Here's the number for our Farm Bureau Energy program through Community Energy Advisors. Have them do the hunting for you. That's the nice thing. That's a plus service. You don't have to go to the Apples website. You don't have to individually try to find a contract that best serves your needs. Let them do that. Giving them a copy of your utility bill, letting their folks basically take a look at different programs, options, procedures, getting back to you to advise what's taking a look at this is huge. And I need to tell people this, I might not use it for electricity because I'm in a community aggregation group, but the same thing also applies for natural gas supplies. And I've been using it for the last several years, and it's saved me a couple of $100 a year.
Kathy, we live in a digital world. Many of us just maybe have auto pay draw out from our checking account every time that bill comes due. Are you surprised that some Ohioans, and maybe the majority of Ohioans, simply don't know what they're paying for their utility bills?
I'm not. It's one of those things, and especially if folks haven't shopped for so long, rates had been lower, and so it just wasn't top of mind. Now it's a hot topic. Everybody's talking about it. And so unfortunately, because people have been paying their bills online, when they go to ask for pricing and we say, we just need a copy of your bill, it's kind of a struggle sometimes. They haven't looked at their bill in a couple of years. And so to be, again, so we're here to help walk them through making sure that they can go online, get their bill. We can't do it for them, but we can assist and make sure that they can get that. And sometimes it's absolutely shocking what people are paying. Again, if they were in a contract and it expired, it's not pretty.
Dale, we call it a member benefit for a reason. A lot of the benefits we have can save our members more than their annual dues to be an Ohio Farm Bureau member. This might be one of those cases.
Yes, it is, because I tell you this, especially for farmers who use a lot more electricity than a home or a small business, being able to save, several $100s on the generation portion of your bill per year because of crop conditioning, the things you're doing, HVAC with your animal husbandry or whatever, this is a very nice plus. But what's also very nice about this program, and Kathy can probably get into this too, is that It doesn't even stop there, because with Verity, which was also another part of Community Energy Advisors in the program, if you need to do an energy audit, if you want to take a look at doing on-site solar or on-site generation as another hedge to control your energy costs, if you want to take a look at demand-side management, energy efficiency, energy audits to help you better control those services are also available through this program too.
So Kathy, a business solution there as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, we can help manage that for them, so that we can work with the vendors to make sure that they're reputable, make sure we're getting different quotes for them, making sure that they're in the right supply agreement, because there's a lot of suppliers out there that won't let you do solar energy efficiency upgrades. So we want to make sure that you're with the right supplier so you don't get penalized. That's all very important. And again, helping to manage that process and make it as easy for folks as possible. There's a lot of grants and incentives out there right now. So if folks are looking at doing any kind of upgrades, now is the perfect time. And as we're managing, we're also going to help do those rebates and grants for them. So that's not something that they have to worry about.
I think it's important too, Kathy, to talk about, I'm in an aggregation program myself here. I'm in suburbia in central Ohio. And a lot of people, when they were told about this and asked to become involved, they thought they might have to change meters or get their system completely replaced or go through a vendor they've never heard of before. How much of that is true? I mean, it's a pretty flawless and pretty easy process.
It is on their end. Nothing's going to change. Their utility, that's set, so that doesn't change. I know, because we've heard that too a lot when somebody hasn't shopped before. It's kind of a scary process. So none of that's going to change. Their bill's going to still look exactly the same. It's going to come the same way. It's going to be paid the same way. It's just going to have that new supplier that with that better rate on it.
Ty, I can say this, and you've probably been noticing me nodding my head and smiling, because Farm Bureau had a part of that early on in the process. In the 1990s and early 2000s, a lot of those questions came up. A lot of investor-owned utilities wanted to add ancillary and other charges with regard to that. We talked about making it as customer-friendly and seamless as possible. So a number of the rules, regulations, to provisions that you're able to use today, we were involved with making sure that those were there with the onset of these programs, and we still monitor and take a look at those things. We still advocate for our members, and they're able to use this program as a member benefit because of some of that advocacy.
Hey, Dale, any relief in sight with these energy costs?
Well, it's going to be interesting is that, yes, I'm seeing that. A lot of things having to do too with regard to power generation or natural gas supplies have to do basically with some supply curtailments and supply things we're seeing here. We're seeing a number of companies taking a look at relaxing some of the prices and things going forward in late 2024, 2025. But we're talking here about now, because we're talking about an 18 to 24 month period where you're going to be seeing some rather large commodity prices, and having a project or having a program like this, being able to create a hedge or a risk management tool through CEA is going to be huge. And plus, once you've done that, you've gained that experience. As you're seeing things, you can continue the work with the company to take a look at things even longer term down the line. But the next 18 to 24 months is going to be an eye-opener for a lot of folks when it comes to energy commodity prices.
This is a benefit for Ohio Farm Bureau members exclusively, and you can find out more about it at ohiofarmbureau.org. Click on the membership tab down to member benefits and find the energy program there. Kathy, is it that easy, or is there a better way to go about connecting with you guys?
It's that easy. There's also a phone number, a fax. Some people still like to snail mail, and that's fine. We'll answer their questions any way that they need.
Kathy Elsesser, Energy Procurement Manager, Community Energy Advisors. She's a partner with Ohio Farm Bureau's energy program. And Dale Arnold joining us this week on the podcast. He's with Ohio Farm Bureau, our Director of Energy Policy. Thank you both so much. Great information. Hopefully some money-saving information for our members.
You're quite welcome.
Thank you.
Here in our state, there's an energy at work, a drive to help people live healthier lives with confidence. But it can't be done alone. That's why our healthcare, business, and community leaders have joined together to help people here feel more empowered by their healthcare, leading to improved long-term health and savings. A health plan for small businesses in the agricultural industry was created by the Ohio Farm Bureau Federation. It provides members the tools, resources, and financial protection to feel confident in their healthcare decisions. By sharing responsibilities, we help build healthier employees and communities, driving down costs, connecting members digitally to Anthem's diverse network of local resources, participating in health literacy, easing administrative burdens. Joining the plan means you're part of making healthcare work better, giving people the confidence to make anything possible. To learn more about how the plan can work for your business, visit our website or call your broker or Anthem sales representative.
Find out how Nationwide Agribusiness can help you grow your business. Get to know the people with the experience and knowledge to help you. Whether you are looking to protect your farm or ranch from the ground up, or need someone who understands your changing commercial ag needs. Find out how to better manage the risks of your ag business, or how quickly you can get back to business. Learn how you can protect your next with Nationwide on your side.
Welcome back to the Ohio Farm Bureau podcast. I'm Ty Higgins. Of course, this week we celebrate Independence Day. Dan Rapp is the Senior Director of Health Services for Ohio Farm Bureau, joining us this week to talk about how to find more freedom with your health care through the health benefits plan through Ohio Farm Bureau. Dan, good to see you. Welcome.
Thanks, Ty.
So when and why did the health benefits plan start through Ohio Farm Bureau?
Well, Ty, we started working on this health benefits plan almost a decade ago, back in 2013, with a lot of research and a lot of legal work to go through and get it set up. But primarily it was a result of conversations with members saying they were having challenges with the high cost of their health insurance plans and being excluded from some of their preferred doctors and hospitals in the plans that they were on. And especially we're hearing from some of our healthier and younger members that were starting to feel the pinch of an industry that was switching more toward community rating and surcharging younger and healthier people. So that kind of drove us into this project.
The list of services is quite long here.
Yeah, it is. You know, it's a plan that provides competitive medically underwritten rates for different groups that are in there. It's a great alternative for them for the Affordable Care Act type plans that are out there. It gives them an opportunity to realize the great savings from those plans, especially. We have multiple plan designs to fit their different needs in the budget, whether they are PPO or HSA type plans. Either way, one of the great benefits is the enormous Anthem network across the state of hospitals and providers, as well as the Anthem pharmacy benefits that are part of the plan. And then just offering employees also a wide variety of different wellness programs to keep them healthy.
Dan, we talk about this as one of the major membership benefits of Ohio Farm Bureau. We talk about those benefits, but very rarely do we actually hear how members are benefiting. We know they are, but we're hearing stories now about some of those stories and what members are saying about being part of this plan.
And we've been doing this long enough now, Ty, that we took this opportunity to go out to our current participants and interview and survey some of them about the plan and what their experience was. And you know, one of the things that we really appreciate is their voice telling us how it benefits them. Lower cost for benefits than I could get elsewhere is what they had to say. We joined the health plan when it was first introduced, and they've realized that Farm Bureau really does give us a lot of benefits for fair pricing on the coverage. Now, the plan has better options in group pricing. It's much better than the plan we had. We were able to keep all of our doctors since they were in the network. And I was unhappy with our healthcare.gov plan and had no option to see out-of-network doctors. And now we have access to the specialists that we need. And this was the best option that I found when I was leaving my employment and going into my self-employed business. So those were some of the great comments that we received from our participating employers.
some recent changes making this available to even more people, making a plan accessible to those sole proprietors. Talk about that major change we had just months ago.
Yeah. Well, one of the unfortunate parts about the plan is that IRS does limit us to 10% of sole proprietors participating in the plan. And in our industry, that can be a little bit limiting. But due to the growth the last couple of years, we've been able to accommodate a lot more and still have room for sole proprietors today. So if you're a sole proprietor, this is a great time to apply. But we're also in the process of modifying the legal structure of the plan so that we remove that 10% limitation in the future. So we certainly, we understand in our industry how many sole proprietors are out there, and they really have a need for, greater access to a plan option like this.
What else is new here in 2023 for the Ohio Farm Bureau Health Benefits Plan?
Well, Ty, Anthem has just added the Engagement 200 Wellbeing Solutions package. And what this does, it gives every adult that's on the plan an opportunity to earn $200 per calendar year for doing a variety of different condition management or preventative care type wellness programs. So members can follow their progress through the Sydney Health app on their phone or at anthem.com to see how many points they've earned. And they have access to certified coaches by phone or through the app to help them with things like managing stress, sleeping better, quitting tobacco, weight management, programs like that really help them long term.
A lot of business owners and agribusiness owners out there hearing this information and maybe realizing for the first time there is an option out there to look at through Ohio Farm Bureau. How can those owners learn more about the health benefits plan?
Yeah, Ty, they can go to our website at ofbhealthbenefitsplan.org. And on that website, we have for them a map and a list of our broker representatives all over Ohio that are ready to help them get signed up in the plan. And if they have a broker that they work with, ask that broker about the Ohio Farm Bureau Health Benefits Plan that's administered by Anthem.
That's Dan Rapp, Senior Director of Health Services for Ohio Farm Bureau, talking about the organization's health benefits plan. Great information, Dan. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Ty.